Last week in one of my videos, I talked about not letting the naysayers run your life. But I forgot to mention the biggest naysayer of all, and that's you. It's me. It's our own selves. That's right. We can be our own worst enemies. And I've talked a lot in the past about not beating ourselves up. And it's really easy to get in a line of thinking of, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so fat. Why do I have to be so lazy? But sometimes the naysaying doesn't come in the form of speaking to ourselves in derogatory language. Sometimes it's nothing more than just succumb all of the obstacles that we think are in our way and all the reasons why not. All the reasons why the deck is stacked against us, and all the reasons why today's not a good day to start. Tomorrow is probably better, right? Have you ever told yourself that? And when you're talking to yourself like that, you might think that you're just being realistic. But you can talk yourself out of everything that you really, really want for yourself just by being realistic. So let me tell you a little secret. The people who reach their dreams and accomplish something really big in their lives are never realistic, at least not in the way that we're talking about here. If you want to break out of the mold that you've put yourself in, it's time to quit being realistic. And what do I mean by that? I'll give you an example from my own life. I started running pretty much by accident in my later 30s, early 40s. And prior to that, I had always been a really proficient excuse maker. I had a reason all the time why something that seemed hard needed to be done later or why I just couldn't do it at all. But for sure, why I couldn't do it right now and why I for sure would be able to get it done later, even though I couldn't do it now. And if that sounds a lot like procrastination, you're right. And what I found is that excuse making and procrastination go hand in hand. So when we're in the habit of making excuses all the time, it can be so ingrained in us that we don't realize what we're doing. And here's how running taught me that I had been holding myself back all along. I absolutely fell in love with running. And I know that can be hard to believe, but it happened to me. And it's easy to fall in love with things that aren't good for us. I know that too. But I think that was the first time that I fell in love with something that was really good for me. And running has so many amazing benefits that I'm not going to go into right now. That's not what this video is about. But I started noticing something somewhere along the way. I realized that I was not letting anything hold me back from getting out there for my morning run. And that is because it was something that I wanted to do. I looked forward to every time that I could get out there. And oh, I have to go really early in the morning when it's still dark outside? Well, I'll get a headlamp and I can see just fine. It's pouring down rain. I've got rain gear that works really well, and if I get wet, so what? I can dry off. And trail shoes keep me from slipping in the mud. And where I lived at the time, it snowed a lot, as it does where I live now. But those same trail shoes worked great in the snow. And I found that I got sick so much less frequently than I had before, but I didn't let little sniffles and a little sore throat or whatever stop me. I only stayed in if I was really sick and knew I couldn't go running, but that it was I discovered that was so much different than making an excuse. And yes, I did get injured when I was learning how to run, but I didn't use that as a reason to give up. I used it as a way to learn how not to injure myself. I learned how to run properly so that I didn't injure myself anymore. So, in other words, I developed this grit and determination that I had never experienced before in my entire life. And it was all because I loved what I was doing. And so when you develop a passion for something that enhances your life, the way running does mine, that's how you can become unstoppable. I always say it doesn't take discipline to do what you love. All it takes is nurturing and developing and feeding that passion. And when it's something active that gives you a good calorie burn in return for the time spent, the numbers on the scale take care of themselves, almost like magic. And of course, it doesn't have to be running. In fact, I really highly recommend that you don't run if you have a significant amount of weight to lose. That puts a lot of stress on your joints. So start with walking or elliptical or pool running with a flotation belt around your waist. You can start with a spin bike. The point is, it doesn't matter where you are or what your circumstances are. You can fall in love with just the feeling of moving your body and how it lifts your spirits and relieves your stress and gets you breathing deeply and enjoying your life more, especially when you can get outside and do it. But that's not a prerequisite. And don't go for gasping for breath. Sometimes we think when we're getting a workout that we have to be killing ourselves. No, you want to, if you have somebody with you, you want to be able to carry on a conversation. Even if you have to talk on the phone, carry on a conversation or just know that you could if you're by yourself, which 99% of the time I am by myself when I'm running. But let it be a start. Let it be a small beginning and let it not be just about, oh, I have to lose weight because I've blown it so many times. Don't make it something where you're beating yourself up. Make it a joyful, positive, beautiful thing. And then deliberately and carefully fan that small spark into a flame. And you never know where it might take you. That's what I've got for you today. I hope that helps. Take care, and I will see you soon. All right. Bye.